Welcome to High-End Homes Handled Right. This is the Real Property Manager Luxury Podcast, hosted by yours truly, Lindell Johnson, here with the one, the only, Freddy Cruz from Speak Podcast, here in the house. And usually on these podcasts, we talk about managing homes. You know, we have business owners that have owned various properties.
Yeah.
But, you know, we want to talk about you and your experience. You know, I know you're a business owner, and you have the ability to, you know, look for homes, and you have the ability to purchase homes that, you know, you see fit for your family, which is amazing. But before you purchased this home, I think we were talking about earlier, you used to rent homes. What was that experience like?
Terrible.
Really?
Yeah. Well, okay. So backing up a little bit, when my wife and I had first gotten married, we had an apartment. Then we moved to Minneapolis, had a townhome, moved back with the baby, and then one on the way, and we had a home. It was a 2-story over in Northwest Houston, and it was, objectively speaking, a nice home on the outside. It is what we call be like an attractive person, but a horrible personality. If you know what I mean. Pretty on the outside, ugly on the inside. Well, I mean, aside from the green carpets and the aqua painted walls, I mean, it was, you know, okay. There were just some issues that would not get rectified immediately with the landlord. And I feel as though if there was a company like RPM Luxury that was overseeing this particular property, that would not be a pain. That would not have been a pain point for my wife and me.
So let's bring that back a little bit. So when you first found out that there was an issue, what was the issue? It was
that was a long time. That was like almost 20 years ago.
Was it AC issue? It was
AC in yard, the backyard.
Okay, so you you had an issue with the AC. Let's use that one. You contacted the landlord. How long did it take?
Weeks.
For them to act. It was weeks.
To act on it. Yes.
Okay.
Nice man.
Right.
But nice don't cut it when you need something fixed, right?
So it was weeks for them to reply to your request, or weeks for them to come and try to fix it?
To actually come out and fix it. To actually come out and fix it.
So during that time, what actions did you take? Were there a lot of calls? Were there a lot of emails?
So at that time, my wife was a stay-at-home wife. She had decided, we had both made the decision for her to be at home and take care of the 2 babies. And so she was the one that was in contact with them the whole time. And it was like, oh, well, I called him. I forget what his name is. Forgot his name, but I called him and he didn't answer. Or I called him and he, I guess, doesn't seem to think it's a serious issue. Or I called him and he said he's coming, but that was last week. Or I called him. I think you get the
right.
You get the picture here.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, I wanted to bring that up, you know, because many times when, you know, you may say you're managing your home, your properties, you're going to have your resident, your tenant call you and say, hey, we have an issue. Can you come and fix it? They don't want to go out of their time, you know, to waste their time to contact you unless they have to. You know, most residents, you know, they want to live and enjoy their house and go on their day, go to work and just live their life and not have to deal with maintenance issues.
We're not thinking about the landlord 24/7. Sorry. No offense.
Right. But, you know, something like an AC, they want that fixed as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And so the 2 things that you must do as a landlord is making sure that A, you respond to the request, and B, you act on it as quickly as possible. If something comes up that prevents you from doing it, let's say, for example, you probably don't know about this, but R22s is a type of air condition that is no longer in use right now. Some homes that haven't, you can't repair it. You have to get a new condenser, right? So because of that, it may delay getting a new unit, AC unit. If that happens, you know, the landlord should say, or the maintenance staff should say, hey, we have an issue and it's taking us longer to fix or whatever. This is just an example, but there's got to be some type of communication.
Right. So, and with something like that, an older model AC, it's kind of like if you wanted an AC or a carburetor for a 67 Mustang, it's not exactly readily available. You can't just go to your local dealership and get something like that.
But there's got to be action.
Right.
So when you came down and you realized that it's now time for your renewal, was that one of the reasons why you decided not to renew and you decided, you know what, I'm going to move forward with doing something else?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That definitely played a factor into it. So across from this area, there were brand new apartment complexes that were getting erected. And we had weighed the pros and cons of staying there and then also buying a home. And we're homeowners now, but buying a home. And we were like, well, maybe home ownership isn't right for us now, but there are these awesome looking apartments that are here. Let's go take a look. Lo and behold, the apartment that we ended up in was about 1,400 square feet, two car garage, gated community, brand new. It was right outside of another very nice neighborhood, very comparable to where we were staying. So we were in the same area, which means we were still close to our family. The wife could go literally around the block to go see my parents, just a half hour away from her parents, about 20 minutes away from my sister and one of her sisters. And I, during off-peak traffic hours, was only a hop, skip, and a jump away from work.
Oh, so it was a perfect situation.
It was a perfect situation. It was brand new. And again, this apartment was nice. It was brand new, 1,400 square feet with two babies. You don't really need much room.
Right.
So it was ideal, very ideal.
So for your landlord at that time, he had someone that was paying rent on time, taking care of the property.
Yeah.
And because of this issue, you have left. Now they're going to lose money again, because now it's going to take, when you say you leave on a Friday, it's not like on a Monday they can replace you. So now they have to market that property, which they probably did. They, went in, they had to do a make ready. So a make ready, getting the house back to where it needs to be so you can put it back on the market. So they paid for that.
Yep.
Then they had to pay for, let's say if they're paying a mortgage still, that mortgage, it's not going to take 1 month for them to get some money. It may take 2 months. So now it's 2 months worth of mortgage that you're not getting a rent from a new tenant. So now all this occurred all because of one AC.
Yeah.
And because of being slow to fixing it. And you said the backyard, the landscape, which is crazy to me. So if they have someone like you, perfect person, they should try to keep you. They should work on that maintenance and make sure everything is done well. Now, in comparison to where that happened, to now you went to the apartment complex, maintenance was better, right? Or was it the same? Was it still?
Well, I mean, it was brand new, so we never had any issue, and we didn't stay in that particular apartment for a long time because we were there for about a year and maybe 2. And then as the babies were growing into toddlers and then we decided, well, you know what? They deserve to have a front and backyard. And so that's how we made the calculated decision to move from Northwest Houston to where we are now in Richmond, Katy, Fulshire, Tri-City area. Yeah.
So now that you're a homeowner, do you see things that you're like, maybe I should have gone back to renting, or now as a homeowner, yes, obviously you've got things that you need to fix, but it's yours.
It's mine.
What's that feeling like?
Let me tell you, I love it. I love it. And I would love to have another home. That's like, and I'm sure there are ways that you could get another home, buy another home, rent it out as an Airbnb. Right. I think it's easier than ever. It's something that I never would have considered back in the day because there was no Airbnb or Vrbo, the VRBO, however you pronounce that. There were none of these online services that would allow you. It was just not available to somebody who would not typically think otherwise.
Yeah, it's a great option.
Yeah,
it really is a good option. If you already have that home, why instead of selling, maybe, the market is not good at the time.
Yeah.
And maybe it's going to take longer to sell it. maybe just keep it,
Yeah.
rent it out, or even, you have a beautiful daughter right now that's in college.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something that you pass down the road that long, time from time, later on in the future. So it's just options.
Right.
It's just options. But the experiences that you've had as a renter, it's great to be able to then turn that into an advantage for you. As an owner of a property management company, I look at everything or every problem I had or I heard from my tenants. And I told myself that when I own a company, I'm going to make sure that all those problems that maybe the renter had or the investor had is something that we would make sure that we hit head on. One of those things is what you're talking about today.
Yeah.
Is that maintenance piece is so big. It's so big. You can have the best amenities in that house that you are in. Beautiful kitchen, beautiful bathrooms, plush everything, just state of the art. But if something breaks, is it being fixed? That's the big deal.
And the answer better be yes, and in a timely manner. Would you say that's right?
Absolutely. And just communicate. Be a great communicator and just get it done. If you do that, they're going to keep people like you. And then also, you talked about Airbnb. When you're renting, you now have the option of, okay, if am I going to go the Airbnb route? Am I going to go the short-term leases or short-term? Or am I going to go, do a year lease? Or am I going to do longer? But you could be so flexible. And especially where your house is located, you said it's in Richmond. It's a great area.
Yeah.
Great area because, if you guys aren't from Houston area, Katy, Fulshire, Richmond, Sugar Land, these are areas in the Houston area where families are now moving to be in a good school system.
Fulshire is like the MVP right now.
Fulshire, yes. Where our office is located, it is premier because of the great school system, and it's growing. It's continuing to grow. So for investors, this is a sweet spot.
Yeah.
You'll always have families that want to move here, send their kids to a great school, great community, very diverse, and it's a great advantage to others and people that don't move in this area. So purchasing a home in this area would be a plus, especially if you want to invest.
I think especially seeing as how it's only about, depending on traffic, between 20 and 30 minutes away from the energy corridor.
Absolutely.
And there are so many hospitals and medical places that are popping up. It's almost as if this area is starting to kind of develop their own little ecosystem that's kind of sort of, but not really like the Texas Medical Center. Right. Houston, the greater Houston area, y'all, is so renowned for our world-class Texas Medical Center, where presidents and leaders from around the world come to get their medical care. And it almost seems that like we're having our own, this area is having its own moment, and it's not like in a concentrated area like TMC, but it's still having its moment where all these facilities are popping up.
That's right. You still also have the entertainment.
Yes.
You got the food.
It all trickles down, man.
It trickles down. My birthday was this week.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And, it was great to not have to go into Houston.
Dude, I know the feeling, man.
It was great not having to get on the I-10 or West Park Tollway.
Can be a nightmare.
Go through that traffic. I was able to go somewhere 10, 15 minutes away.
Yeah.
So, yes, it's definitely convenient. But saying that, this is a great area, great place to live. So you having your home in this area, if that is where you wanted to keep your house and you wanted to rent it, I think it would be a great investment for you to keep. And Real Property Manager Luxury would definitely be here for you.
Yeah.
But other than that, I want to say thank you.
Thank you, man.
For this quick interview and allowing us to discuss your experience as a renter and what made you want to leave. I think this is so important to talk about because that is something that other renters are going through. And sometimes landlords have no idea why they're always having a turn, why always every year, they have to get someone else. They can't renew leases. this is part of the reason why. So it's good to have this conversation, and maybe other landlords will see it and say, okay, yes, 2025, I'm going to hone in on how I deal with maintenance.
It's almost as if when somebody doesn't eat enough greens, and then 5 years down the road, they wonder why they have gut issues. And it seems simple, or the solution is right there in front of you, but you don't realize it.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
It's an easy fix. It's like, well, short-term pain here, the AC, versus long-term pain, which is what you're talking about. Make readies, preparing the home. How are the aesthetics? You know, how's the plumbing? Right. How does all this stuff work? And you add up and you add up and you add up, and you go back and listen to your bank of episodes. Yeah. You got the guy with the cleaning business, and you got the inspection company, and all these things add up.
You're paying all those vendors. You're paying all those people.
All the vendors. Okay. And so from someone who's not one of you guys, to me, at least, it seems like, well, just fix the AC.
You're right. Just go and fix the AC. Actually, you know, what was the landscaping issue? What was that?
The backyard was in disarray. It was just in complete disarray. I mean, I eventually just was like, okay, I'll do it myself. And that was back when I did yard work. I just I'm a little hoity-toity now. I'm like, man, you can't pay me enough to do. I'm proud of my home. I just also don't do landscape. I don't do yard work.
Right, you're too busy.
I'm too busy, man.
As a business owner, you're everywhere.
Like that's not.
I get it.
It's to pay somebody. It's a time thing. Right. You know, is my time worth this? No, it's not. Let's get somebody in here who knows how to take care of it.
But then you at least were asking for that assistance. You were asking for that help.
Yeah.
I get it. Once again, they lost the opportunity to keep you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, have a great week.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you for coming by.
Yeah.
And we look forward to talking to you again.
Absolutely. Lindell, I appreciate you so much, because Lindell is a client of mine. We do produce his podcast, High End Homes Handled Right. So we appreciate you, sir.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. Have a great day.
You too.